back, everyone, to week 2 of the Not So Ugly Christmas Sweater Blanket Crochet Along. We are going to be working on what's called in the pattern Christmas lights. However, if you're working with an off-color palette, you could also turn them into gumdrops or you know, the sugared candies or something like that. You could call it really anything that you want. But we're going to be working in popcorns and double crochets this week and single crochets. Now these are all, of course, in US terms. So I went ahead and I cleaned up the back of my square so that I didn't have any tag-alongs hanging out, and it just keeps your work neat and makes it less stressful because then you're not, you know, dealing with little things flying all over the place. It's just me. But we're going to go ahead and join with white in our corner. We're going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to create our corner. So in the same space, we're going to double crochet, chain 2, and 2 double crochets, because that chain 3 counts as a double crochet. And a double crochet, and a double crochet. All right, so we've created our new corner. Excuse me. Now we are going to double crochet into each of the single crochets going across. This is going to be a very simple row, or I should say round. Okay, we're getting to the end of this side. All right, so we're going to do the corner again. That's going to be 2 double crochets, chain, 2, 2 double crochet. All right, so we're going to continue to do this where we're doing 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets in each of our corners, and then double crochet on all the remaining stitches around. Go ahead and finish this up. I'll meet you back over here on this corner. I have reached the end of my row 13, round 13, and I went ahead and I slip stitched with the chain 3 from this row. Now we are going to be changing colors, so but before you cut off, I want you to take a moment, pause the video, whatever you need to do, and count how much you have on each side. Make sure that you have 40 stitches from one corner to the other corner. Counting is going to be a real priority, especially from here on out. And I should have been counting all along with week 1, but I didn't think about that, so I do apologize. But from this point on, we're going to be making sure that our row counts are right. And we're usually just going to be checking one side, but I have found through making a few of these that one of my edges, one of my sides is always off. So make sure that you count all 4 sides. I know it gets to be a lot of counting towards the end, but you'll be happier, you'll be less frustrated, and especially if you know that your counts are correct. So once you've got your 40 stitches verified, go ahead and cut your yarn off. I have a tendency to flip my work and start on the corner over here so that as I'm rounding my edge, I'm catching this in. It's completely up to you. You don't have to do it that way. That's just the way that I do it. It makes it easier to tuck in ends at the end. All right, so I am going to, on my portion here, I have decided I'm going to go with my 3 deepest colors. So I'm going to do a deep kind of aqua teal-y color, kind of a Kelly Christmas green, and then my burgundy that I used here in my peppermint. I just decided that I really liked those 3 colors together. Plus, I've got plans for my lime green, so I'm not going to put it in with these guys because it would just be lime green overkill later on. All right, so in our corner, and that's where we're always going to be starting from now on, is in our corner spaces. We're going to be doing round 14. We're going to chain 6, so that's 3, 4, 5, and 6. This is always going to count as a double crochet plus a chain 3. And we're going to double crochet into the same corner. That's our new corner. Now we are going to chain 2, 1, 2. We are going to skip 2, 1, 2. And we are going to popcorn into the next. Now a popcorn is kind of a fiddly stitch. That's why there's not a lot of them in the Afghan, but it makes such a pretty little pop out and it's great for texture. So that's why we're going to do some. So we're skipping 2. We're going to put 5 double crochets into one spot. So in this one stitch here, 5 double crochets. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, we're going to take our hook out of our loop. We're going to reinsert it into the first double crochet, now into our loop, and we're going to pull through both, creating a popcorn, a bubble. From here, we're going to chain 5, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to skip 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to popcorn in the next. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Once again, take your hook out of your loop, insert into the front, or not the front, the first one, and into the loop, pull through, and chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to skip 4 again. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the next, do 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Make your popcorn. Chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make your popcorn. Insert, grab the loop, pull through. Okay, go ahead and keep going. I'll meet you at this corner over here. Okay, I have done this a total of 8 times according to the instructions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we are going to chain 2, skip 2. We're going to double crochet, chain 3, and double crochet in our corner and turn our work so that we're now working on a new side. All right, so this is what it's going to look like on each of your sides around. You should have a total of 8 bobbles, or 8 popcorns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You should have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 chain 5 spaces, 2 chain 2 spaces, and your corners, okay? All right, I'm gonna let you keep going around, and then I will meet you over at this corner we will have a total of 8 popcorns each side. So 8 times 4 is 32. So a total of 32 popcorns. I made it all the way around, and I went ahead and chained my 2 here. I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch with the 3rd chain from my original chain 6. So 1, 2, 3. Now you can go ahead and cut this because we're going to be switching back to the main color for this area, which is this, well, for me is white. Whatever color you're using as your background color, that's the one we're going to be going to. I want to talk with you real quick about your corners. Now mine curl in a little bit. As you can see, they're kind of rounded. That's okay. It's because we're going to be pulling those up with the stitches that we're going to be doing in the next round. If, however, you feel like your stitches are pulling really, really tight, one suggestion I will make is to go looser on your chains between your stitches as well as on your corners. Maybe loosen up a little bit as you're doing this corner section, because we don't want it where it's crinkling things in and making it look like that. It needs to still be able to lay flat even if your corners are rounded when we get to this part. Right, I'm going to do my regular turn and work in a clean corner. We're going to be adding our background color again. We're going to chain 1. We're going to do 2 single crochets, 1 and 2. Slide that over. Then we will chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and 2 single crochets in that same corner space, so that our corner looks like that. Okay. We're going to single crochet into this first double crochet here. And now we are going to be working in double crochets around this chain. So get ready to do a double crochet. We're going to go into this stitch. Make sure you catch all of that, go around, and I kind of pull up a little bit so it's not yanking down real tight. And let's do that again. Catch everything in there. Now we're going to do a single crochet into the popcorn. So I always go in this little circle that the popcorn makes. Let's see if I can show that a little bit better. Right in here, there's a little circle. So go into the circle and do your single crochet. That's where I do mine. Now I'm sure that if you didn't want it to show up, you know, because it kind of shows like a little dip inside there, you could go into, say, like the chain where we started our chain 5. I think it leaves a little bit too much space for me. It's just a personal preference. So I go in the circle. I feel like it pulls my stitches tighter. Alrighty, now we're gonna do 4 more double crochets into the open double crochets from this round, working around your chains again. Kind of be not too loose, but not too tight. Just, and it will pull this down. That's okay. It helps to make your popcorn pop out later. Just be nice and easy on this part. Probably not a good place to do stress crocheting. And then into your popcorn again. Okay, now you will, if you're using white or something like that, you will see a little bit of peek through. I'm gonna bring that closer to the camera so you can see it. a little bit of peek through there. That's okay. In the end, nobody's really going to be looking that closely, and they're going to say, oh my gosh, your colors are poking through. They're going to be looking at the blanket as a whole, and by then it's going to be one big, you know, one big picture as opposed to lots of tiny little bits and pieces and parts like what we're doing. My one suggestion to you is if the poke through really bothers you, use a darker color as your background. All right, we're doing the double crochets again. Working around our chain. And single crochet into our popcorn. Okay. See how that makes that kind of like, gives it a little, I don't know, I guess it just shows. I like it. So this is what the back of your work is going to look like. I'm going to go through and I will probably drag this. Actually, I'm just going to do it right now. I'll drag that back out so that I can tuck it in better. I am not a fan of having any loose ends hanging out, so I will go and find all the loose ends later and I'll tuck them all in. But this is what the back of your work will look like. So you're not going to have chains hanging out for people to get their fingers caught in. All right. Double crochet in 4. And single in your popcorn. All right, so this is gonna just be exactly what we do all the way around. When you get to your corners, you're gonna do 2 single crochets, chain 3, 2 single crochets. I'm gonna go ahead and meet you back over here when we get to this corner so that we can finish it up, and then we'll do like we've done before and you can go ahead and finish up your square. I'm back to do our corner. All right, so this is where the last chain 2 comes in before you get over to your double crochet here. So we're gonna double crochet in 2 spaces at the edge here because that's all we have to work in. Do not forget to single crochet into this double crochet. I've done that and it'll throw your stitches off all the way through. And then 2, chain 3, and 2. Now you want to go through and check and make sure that you've got 46 stitches per side now, okay? So, I just advocate counting as you get each side done. How you do it is completely up to you, actually. Completed round 15, and I went ahead and I slip stitched to my first single crochet. Make sure you don't forget to put your single crochets in these guys. All right, moving on to round 16. We're going to slip stitch to the corner so that we're always starting in the corner. And we are not cutting the color because we're going to do a round of single crochet. So we chain 1, single, chain 3, and single for our new quarter. Excuse me. Go ahead and put a single crochet in every stitch across, in every double crochet, and every single crochet that you put into the back of the popcorn. Don't skip any stitches. You should have 46 stitches on this row here, the double crochet row, going across. So when we finish the single crochet row, we're going to have a total of 48 stitches per side. I have finished round 16 and I went ahead and I slip stitched to the first single crochet of this row. We are going to cut this color, so make sure before you do that you have 48 stitches, 48 single crochets along each side so that your numbers aren't off later. All right, I'm going to go ahead and cut that. And I'm going to pull it through. Now the single crochet row should have helped square you off just a bit. Let me get that out of the way. Because it was a little bit bumpy with the popcorns and then going over it with the double crochet. So this should have given you a little bit of a straighter edge to work with. We are now going to add our next color, and like I said, I'm going to be going with my really rich colors for this section of the blanket, surrounded by the white. So my next color is going to be this green. I'm going to get this out of the way as well. And we will be joining in a corner with another chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Double crochet in the same chain 3. And then we are going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and skip 3, 1, 2, 3. We are going to popcorn in the next stitch. Remember, that's 5 double crochet in one spot. 2, 3, 4, 5. Reinsert your hook into the first and the loop. We're going to chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to skip 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and popcorn in the next. Okay, chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now this is going to be your repeat across. You're going to skip 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and popcorn in the next. And chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, we had to start our side a little differently than the way that we're going to carry it across. Sometimes just to get the stitches in the right spot, we have to do a little bit of extra finagling. So because I needed the popcorns to go in between, I had to go 1 extra stitch to begin this side. But that's okay. It doesn't matter. It's not going to show up later on. Nobody's ever going to notice. When you continue across, continue chaining 5 and skipping 4 until you get over to this corner where you're going to chain 3 and skip 3 again. You need to have 3 single crochets left at the end of this set. I'm just holding, sorry. 3 single crochets left at the end of this side so that you can finish it off correctly. Go ahead and continue the chain 5, skip 4 all the way across to the corner. I'm sorry, to the corner. I'll meet you over here and we'll turn the corner together and then you can complete the square. I have reached the other corner. I have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 popcorns on this side. That's how many you should have as well. I'm going to chain 3, 2, 3. I'm going to skip the last 3, 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to double crochet, chain 3, double crochet in the corner. All right, and now we're going to start the side all over again, so that means we go back to the special instructions over on this side. Excuse me. 1, 2, 3, and then we skip 3. 1, 2, 3, and popcorn. Chain 5, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we skip 5 on this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and popcorn in the next. So if you're finding that this is a little bit tight and this is very buckly, if you're a tight chainer, you could throw one more chain in there and do 6 there. Otherwise, loosen it up a little bit so that you can do just the 5 and skip the 5. 2, 3, 4, and 5. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we are back to the chain 5, skip 4 here, and then popcorn, so that our popcorns are going to line up in between the blue ones, or whatever colors you guys have. Okay, now I'm going to let you loose and let you finish. I'll meet you back over here at our beginning corner, and we're going to join with the 3rd chain of our chain 6, because that counts as our double crochet chain 3. All right, I'll see you back over here. I've made it all the way around this round, and I've gone ahead and slip stitched into the 3rd chain of my chain 6. Make sure though, before you cut off, because we're going to be cutting this color, you have 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 popcorns per side. Make sure that you had 3 at the beginning and 3 at the end. At one point on one of my sides, I had a snafu, and I ended up with way too many left over on the end. If that happens to you, where you have more than 3 left over on an end, go back and check and make sure that you skipped 5 over here, because I didn't, and I just fell into the rhythm of skipping 4. But we do need to have that skip 5 here in order to make sure that the placement is correct along the way. The other thing too is that it's once again okay if, let me just cut this off real quick here before we talk about that. It's okay if your corners are a little rounded again. See how it's got kind of a curve to it. As long as you can pull on it and get it to square out, then your stuff isn't too tight. You're gonna be okay. And when you throw your white into the next round, actually the next 2 rounds, it'll square out again the way that it did after the blue. If you find that when you tug on it gently, it does not square out, you may want to go back and loosen up the chains in between, because you're pulling too tight. Alrighty, now we're going to go ahead and add white. We are moving on to round 18. We're going to be adding the white in the corner like usual. Sorry, should have been more prepared. There we go. And we are going to be doing 2 single crochet, chain 3, 2 single crochet. So we're only going to chain 1 to begin with. And we'll do 1 and 2, chain 3. I like to move that down so I've got a little more space. And 2. Put a single crochet into this first double. And now we're going to be working around the chains again into the open single crochets from round 16. This is again going to trap everything underneath the double crochets to make the back side nice and neat. And then we will single crochet in the popcorn again. So basically, if there's an open single crochet, you're going to be putting a double crochet into it. And you're going to be putting a single into your popcorn. Let's go ahead and do the 5, because this is where we chain that 5 and skip that 5 at the beginning. And then single. So even though we skipped 5, we still are going to fill in all that space because we want it to be a nice clean, no open spots, and we need those stitches, so we don't want to leave anybody out. Okay, this is going to be just like this row down here. You're still going to get that peek through a little bit, but it's going to end up with that nice clean back so that no fingers, no toes get caught up in the extra chains that we've done. All right, this is going to behave exactly like this row here, so go ahead and just complete. I'm going to let you go all the way around. Don't forget to put your single crochets into these 2 doubles. They're easy to overlook, especially once you get over here and skip. Make sure you put your single crochets into those. Alrighty, I'll see you back over on this side. Completed round 18, and I have gone ahead and joined with my first single crochet. I'm going to slip stitch into the corner. Do not cut off this color. You should have 54 stitches on each of your sides. We're going to go ahead and continue on. Chain 1, and we're going to repeat round 16, which is to single crochet, chain 3, single crochet as a corner, and then single crochet in every stitch across. Into all single crochets, all double crochets, and all of the single crochets in the back of the popcorn. Okay, so I'm going to let you continue this row since it's so simple, all on your own. Okay, round 19 is done. Make sure that you have completed, not completed, but make sure that you have counted and done 56 single crochets per side before you cut off. And then go ahead and snip that. All right, so we're going to be joining our next color same way we've done with a chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We'll double crochet in that same space. That's our new corner. So I just got to get this in a working space. Now, what we're going to do on this row is we're going to chain 5. So I just chained 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to skip 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to popcorn in the next. Four and 5. Insert and pull. Do that again. Chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to skip 5 one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is once again prepping our popcorns to sit in the right spot on the rest of the row going across. These are the only 2 that we're going to skip the 5 on, though. It's just the first 2 of this row. So chain 5, Now you're going to start skipping 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and popcorn. Now go ahead and continue to popcorn, going all the way across with chain 5, skip 4. When you get to this end, you're going to have 4 remaining. So go ahead and just treat it like your normal chain 5, and then you'll skip the last 4 and you'll do your corner. Double crochet, chain 3, double crochet. All right, I will meet you back over here. Round 20 all done, and I have gone ahead and joined it with the 3rd chain. Go ahead and cut. You should have been keeping track all along, I'm sure you have, but there should be 10 popcorns per side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, and so we're going to do our last section of white, and then we'll be done with week 2. Okay. In the corner, chain 1, 2 single crochet, chain 3, and 2 single crochet. Single crochet in your double. Now we're going to double crochet in 5, just like we've done on the first 2 rows around. I shouldn't say the first 2 rows, the first 2 sections where we were working with our bobbles. 2, 3, 4, and 5, and single in our popcorn. Alrighty. Now, I'm going to let you finish the last 2 rows because they are exactly the same as these rows here and these rows here. You're going to do your double crochets around the chain in any of the open single crochets from this row here. You're going to then, once you finish off going around all the way, you're going to slip stitch to your corner, and you're going to single crochet, chain 3, single crochet, and then you'll single crochet in every single stitch going across. Okay, so when you finish this round, you should have a total of 62 single crochets, or not single crochets, stitches in total. You should have 62. When you finish your last row, you should have 64 single crochets. All right, I am going to meet back up with you before we finish off this week's video. But go ahead and get the last 2 rows done, and then I'll meet up with you over here. We'll make sure that we've got all the right counts on the sides, and I'll see you in a minute. All right, everybody, we have completed round 22. We should have 64 single crochets per side. Go ahead and cut the color now, and we are technically done with week 2. Congratulations. As you can see, we've gotten quite a bit of, size and body to our blanket. I hope that you're enjoying the process and that you're loving the way your colors are coming together. I can't wait to see all of your progress pictures. But make sure that you take a little time and clean up the back side of your work. If you leave all of the ends until the end, that is up to you. But thank goodness the crochet-along offers enough time in between so you can clean up all of the ends in between each week, and that way when you're done with your afghan, you're just going to be done and you don't have a whole lot of extra work left over at the end. All right, you guys, you have a great rest of your week, and I will see you in week 3.